Okay. So let me address this particular issue. Why blockchain is not hackable? See, blockchain, if I, as a particular technical person, will say it is not hackable, it is unjustifiable. Blockchain is hackable, but it is bit difficult than your conventional database system that you use like MongoDB, SQL, and all, and then list goes on, right? Hacking blockchain is difficult because you have to break around 50, more than 50% systems of that particular network. Then only you can enter into the system. So you can see, suppose if you have to make one particular attempt in order to hack a SQL or MongoDB, then more than 50% attempt you have to make in order to hack the blockchain, because you have to perform lot of computing in order to understand those hashes through which your data is basically getting stored. So blockchain is very difficult to hack, but of course it is hackable. I will, as a technical person, I will never say that it is not hackable, right? I hope that it is clear to everyone. Anyone have doubt into it? So who asked this question? Ritankar, okay. Anyone else have this question? You can type in the chat window, right? So I will be able to easily understand. Okay, so let me finish the session, then I will take the question. Okay. Basically what happens in Tangle, the best thing about Tangle is my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So what is the benefit of IOTA Tangle is that in blockchain you need to perform the mining operation, but in Tangle you don't have to do any mining operation. You just need to refer to previous transaction. It means someone who is already part of the network, if you will refer, then you will become the part of transaction, and these things are happen automatically. You don't have to program anything. I will tell you, if you want to start your journey, how you can develop, what are the solutions available in last of this particular talk. So scalability become one of the important aspect in Tangle, because automatically if someone who is referring to you, you can easily part of the transaction. This is very much simple to the that when you go for opening an account into the bank, they basically ask a known person in that particular bank, and if you know that particular person, your bank account get opened. So this is very much similar to that what happens in your IOTA Tangle. But here two particular references required. So if you see this particular diagram, right, there are three colors: red, green, and then gray. So if you try to understand this particular arrow, right, or we say it edge. So every square that we say it as a vertex is referenced by two particular edges. So here, suppose if I take this particular last one, so you can see minimum two particular arrows are referencing to a block or a square, and this is nothing but a data that in IoT, if I will talk about, this green signal could be like anything, temperature 25 degree and 26 degree. This is how your data is stored at the Tangle. Reds are unconfirmed. Unconfirmed means here you will see that there are only one particular arrows that are referencing to it. So minimum two arrow must reference. Like in green, if you will try to understand, minimum two arrow or edges are referencing to a vertex or a square, then they become the part of the transaction. It means now that data is stored in the database. And the gray colors are basically nothing but the new added transaction. They are yet to be confirmed. Okay. So basically certain times it takes in the calculation and all. So they become, we say it as a tips. Okay. So each transaction's left side should be at least linked to the two previous transaction approved. Then only it becomes a part of the network, your data. So this is where your trust comes in. Then what data exchange format that particular IOTA uses, right? So IOTA system doesn't uses the format that we use in normal communication like bits, bytes, right? 1 and 0. So it basically uses ternary numeral system, and there the data is represented in the form of trits and tries. So generally, once you go into this system, basically it becomes very hard to a hack or whatever you mean to say, if your data is transferred to the IOTA based system, because more calculation is required once we go to the trits and tries. So even seeing the future of quantum computing, that CDAC is basically engaged in quantum computing, one of the premier organization that is taking care of the quantum computing mission in India. So we here also doing certain research in quantum computing and all. So taking to the consideration of the future aspect, that might be your data that is traits and traits, and quantum computers are basically nothing but, you can talk about those computers whose where you can basically compute large data sets, right? So that basically is going to help in your large computing, your quantum computer. So keeping in that mind that future is quantum computer, so even ternary format is basically very difficult to decode on quantum computers. I will tell you the reason why. So basically the ternary format that uses for the data communication in IOTA, they are represented like this. So 9 is represented is 000, A is represented as 100, right? And P is represented -110. So this is how your particular data is represented in the format called IOTA, that is traits and traits. So second important aspect, that why this is less hackable IOTA. This uses a mechanism for the signature called WOTS, winter needs one-time signature. So this is very different from the signature that we use in asymmetrical keys like public and private keys, RSA based algorithm, where we use X.590 based certifications. So it is very difficult. So what happens generally, suppose there is a public and private key. So in order to connect to anywhere, like you use SSH and all public and private key. So you just need a private key in order to connect to any cloud platform, right? But what happens here? So suppose if there are hashing mechanism for particular data that is getting exchanged, they are exchanged in the form of hashes like blockchain or IOTA, anything you talk about. So suppose I am using a SHA-256. So there are 256 characters involved into it. So suppose you are using normal RSA based algorithm, and also suppose someone gets the private key of it, easily it can decode the data by doing certain computation. But what is the benefit of using WOTS, winter needs one-time signature? That it basically give you more flexibility. So what is that? Even if there is a 256, right? 256 particular hashes are there. So each particular character in the hash has own public and private key. It means you require 256 private key in order to understand that hash. So this is the benefit of using WOTS signature that is basically used in your IOTA based system. So it's very difficult to hack IOTA. Then next is like concept of seeds. So seed is a concept. So because all the data are basically stored in the wallet, we say it as a wallet, like Trinity and Hub. These are two important open source wallets where we can store the data. Because time is very less and it is webinar, so it's a bit difficult to show you the actual demo. So suppose you forget the password and all of your particular wallet. So there is a concept of something called seeds. So you can store those seeds. This is nothing but a string of 81 tries. Okay. So with those seeds, you can easily get the backup of your Trinity wallet and where your data is stored. So this is a particular concept of your seeds. So what are the features of IOTA? Scalability, modularity, quantum resistance, and feeless transaction. Feeless transaction because you don't have to give any IOTA and all in order to particularly do the computing part that we have to suffer in if we are using blockchain. Then quantum resistant. Quantum resistant means on the quantum computers, even because of WOTS, winter needs one-time signature, it's very bit difficult to calculate those 256 hashes because each hash has its own private and public key. So it is also resistant with the quantum computers. Easily you cannot understand what data is being shared by one person to the particular tangles. Then there is a protocol called MAM that we basically use in order to communicate our data to the tangle. So MAM stands for mass authenticated messaging. So it's like mass means encrypted, authenticated means it has been authenticated by someone where this data is going to be. So that authentication is also performed, and then messaging is nothing but your actual data. So that data is in form of streams. Okay, so it is in form of streams, means stream processing is there. So it is like continuous data that we are actually getting from the IoT devices. So this is in form of streams. And IOTA uses gossip protocol at its core to propagate these messages through the network. So like suppose that data is coming, so how that data is going to be traveled, it is uses gossip protocol. So how that gossip protocol works, so you can see here, this is how your gossip protocol works. So there is a channel ID. So once you will start working on IOTA, so in programming and all, you will be having a channel ID, say ABC, right? And there is a some data that is coming from sensors at 12 degrees centigrade, 14 degrees centigrade, and 18 degrees centigrade. And so someone has a channel ID, say like DEF, right? Temperature minus 4 degrees, 0 degree, 1 degree, there. So who will subscribe this channel ID, right? Will get the data. So like here you can see this will be relayed to everyone, but someone who will be having this channel ID that has been shared with the encrypted medium will receive the data. So they use channel ID in order to send the data. So this is how your Bob and Ellie is able to receive the data. So it is going with multiple systems to receive there, because in Tangle you have seen there are multiple system part of the network, but everyone is not having the same channel ID. So whenever we are sending the data, we generally write channel ID both the end. So someone is publisher, they must have same channel ID, and subscriber, they must have channel ID in order to receive the data from the Tangle. So first your data will be published to the Tangle. This is one side, publisher part, and subscriber will be one who will be pushing the data from the Tangle, right? Receiver it. So both should require the same channel ID. So suppose you want to use a very basic use case of IoT, how you can go with this. So important aspect, we don't have any cloud here, right? We are distributed ledger, something called Tangle. So here you can see we have attached a DHT11 sensor to the particular board called ESP8266. Here we have written some program from where sensors is publishing the data to this particular device called Raspberry Pi that is acting as a gateway. So sensor data will publish the data to the Raspberry Pi. At Raspberry Pi there is a receiver that is running. So through MQTT broker it will receive the data. And now on the Raspberry Pi only the data is published to the Tangle. Okay, so this is one publisher part using MAM protocol. MAM and this particular gossip protocol. So we need to have one more device where we can write the same subscriber code with the same channel ID to push the data from the Tangle. This is like how you get the data from cloud. So then you can receive the data. So this could be basically a very small use case of your IOTA. So basically this is very new in IoT industry. Still you will not find any particular, might be very less videos. If you will go on YouTube, might be a single source of video or all. And very less articles onto it, but this is the future of IoT where data is going to be more secure, because you are not going to trust on the third party, right? The data will be on Tangle, and basically the particular two members need to be part of that particular Tangle in order to verify the transaction to be part of the network. That doesn't happen in the cloud environment, like you deal with something called MySQL based databases that are available on the cloud, or MongoDB, Cassandra, and the list goes on, right? So this is how you can make a secure solution with the distributed ledger in IoT. And IOTA is basically designed for IoT, not like your blockchain framework, like Ethereum, and then you have Hyperledger Fabric and all, right? So what are their IOTA verticals? In a smart home, you can easily use autonomous cars, you can use supply chain management, healthcare, and smart energy. So these are the certain fields where you can develop your solutions. So if I talk about a smart home, so suppose at your home you have a something called fridge. So you don't want to run your fridge 24/7. So being a luxurious person, we don't want to go and off in the night my fridge after running 2 hours, right? And suppose you kept a beer bottle, suppose in that particular fridge, and it requires only 2 hours. So what you can keep, you can buy some IOTAs, right? Suppose 10 IOTA, and then easily you can set up that once one IOTA is detected, and then my fridge should automatically be stopped. So that could be like one smart home application based on the amount available in your wallet. Easily it could basically automatically your fridge will be stopped based on the amount available in your wallet. Then autonomous cars. In autonomous cars also, like suppose you are seeing the electrical vehicle where charging and all is going to be the future uh, of the particular industry, right? Where you don't want human to human communication. So suppose automatically where we are saying economy of things are machine economy, where directly your autonomous cars went to a charging machine where those electrical vehicle is there. So automatically how much charging is done, the cost is calculated, and that much iota will be transferred to the machines, and automatically your vehicle will move. These are the future applications. Then in automatic supply chain management, so suppose there is a container or that has been placed, suppose on certain vehicles, maybe bus or truck, whatever you wish to say. So from there, if it is moving, so 10 hours journey, whatever the cost will be there, automatically that much iota will be deducted. So don't have to do any particular physical transaction, right? Automatically that particular digital transaction will happen. And by post COVID-19 scenarios is going to have more impact on these particular sectors. Reason is that we are now more moving to the digital world, right? So everything is going to be down the line next 10 years digitally. So currency is also one of the important aspects when we are looking for the digital transactions. So this is one of the important aspects. Then how you can start your journey for, like, as a developer, like we as a certain use cases and all we have developed at our center CDAC. So here you can see what language you prefer, like C, Go, Java, JavaScript, Python, or C#. These are the libraries that are available. You can easily use these libraries for the programming, and there are certain use cases also available on the website, like smart charging, high availability, smart city based solution, right? So these are the certain particular use cases are available on the website. So these are the certain links you can use for particular understanding. So these are the supported boards which you can use for your programming and all, like CryptoCore, NRF52, ESP32, SBC, Raspberry Pi. So any of the board you can buy and easily you can use for your prototyping, right? So this is all from my side. If you have questions, you can put into the chat window and I will respond to it. Either you can speak also, not an issue. So if you have any question, please. No questions?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Sandeep over here.
Yeah, Sandeep, please.
I might be wrong over here, but is this like a torrent thing where same file is been downloaded by multiple people, and if a new peer gets joined, then the same file is get copied to a new peer? Is it something like
You
that?
can say like this is a very similar operation that happens on the particular chain side also, but your BitTorrent is one of the best example of your distributed ledger, right? But what happens in these places, this is not like the same concept that get used there. That is basically used for the data distribution, but in this particular scenario in IOTA and all, this is not happens actually. The same once he will join, from there onward, whatever transaction will happen will be part of that. It is not like data is duplicated everywhere, but it is not similar to the BitTorrent and all.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Amit Nigam have a question that future of IoT does not need to be anything related to cloud. No, cloud will be there, but for the operations like healthcare and all, or electric vehicles and all, we have to be more shift toward the distributed ledger. And I have received a question from the Ritankar. He is asked. Sorry, anyone have question, please? Yeah. Your voice is getting break in between.
If anyone wants to ask some question and it is not audible, they can type on chat. Any more questions, participants? So Bhupendra, from the session of VIT and coordinating this webinar, I would like to give you special thanks, and it was a great enriching experience of 1 hour for all the participants, including me. I learned many new things, and hope students have got new idea about IOTA, IoT, and what is the future of IoT, what Bhupendra is trying to focus on. And he is a big enthusiast of IoT and has been working on multiple projects. I would request those who are interested or those who are already working in this field or have started, he would be a big asset to you all. You can contact him. He has given his email ID, or you can contact me or Pradeshni ma'am. Then we can reach him, sure. And he would be very happy to help you all.
Okay, sir.
Thanks, Bhupendra. Thank you a lot.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, guys? Anything you want to discuss or tell something? Okay. Okay, so we would be ending here, Bhupendra. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Bhupendra.